Hello, I'm Thrash Maniac HD, and yes, it's been well over a week since I've done a video. Sorry, and I just want to come on here and have a discussion video about what's going on in WWE, at least as of right now, with a bunch of things, because a lot of people want to hear my thoughts about some things that have been happening over the last week since I made my last video. And also I wanted to address a couple other things on this video as well, so let's get to it. First and foremost, my thoughts about CM Punk quitting WWE. At first, I was just like, typical CM Punk, whining and crying about something that doesn't involve him. You know, it's like, people thought CM Punk left because he was frustrated with the creative direction of WWE and stuff like this, when now we've gotten reports now that he may have left because he was hurt and he needed to get healed up. And he's still being advertised, from what I've seen, he's being advertised still for the Chicago Raw at the beginning of March. So I don't know what to make of this. I don't know if him leaving the company is all to make sure that he doesn't get hurt more, or this was a real walkout or a worked walkout. I don't really know what to make of it. I mean, if this was a real walkout he did, then CM Punk, you lost a lot of respect for me. Or, I mean, you've lost a lot of my respect, because, I mean, he has a history of whining and crying about something, and for him to walk out of the company just because he's frustrated with creative direction, when if it doesn't involve you, don't worry about it. I mean, he quit because he didn't like Batista winning the Rumble. Well, I'm gonna get to Batista here in a little bit, so I'll save that for when I get to Batista. But I will say, for CM Punk, if you really did leave because Batista won the Rumble, then you're the biggest whining baby I have ever heard in my life. I mean, if he walked out legitimately for that, then he's going to lose a lot of my respect. And I know there's going to be a bunch of CM Punk guys coming on here saying, "Why are you talking bad about the best in the world?" and blah, blah, blah. First off, CM Punk is not the best in the world. Daniel Bryan is. Let's get that straight, okay? Okay, but enough about CM. Well, actually, if this was all just a way for him to get out of the company just so he can get healed up in time, then let him heal up. But if he left because of Batista winning the Rumble and the creative direction, then he's the biggest whining baby in WWE history. Let's just put it at that. So, that's my thoughts about Punk quitting the company. I don't know what to make of it, because we don't know if he legitimately walked out, or this is all work, or he just left to get healed up. We don't really know entirely for sure. I mean, so many people say it's one reason, some people say it's another reason. I'm talking about all those reasons given what I think of each. So there you go. Next up, my thoughts about Alberto Del Rio gonna leave the company once his contract is up. To be honest with you, I'll be happy when he's gone, because really I have not cared about... I can't even talk. I have not cared about Del Rio ever since he lost the world title to Cena back at Hell in a Cell. It had been ever since then, Del Rio's either been put in with Cena, or for the most part Sin Cara, and losing to Sin Cara, and now he's being beat to shit by Batista, to the point where they may have a one-on-one match at Elimination Chamber. But overall thoughts about Del Rio. At first, I did not like him because I hated his character. And I've said a lot before in past videos I did, like a couple years ago, saying I didn't like his character because a Mexican aristocrat is not a good character for a guy like him. The only thing that saved his character was Ricardo Rodriguez. But then when he turned face, I was like, okay, I'll give him a chance. And I personally like him better as a face than a heel. I know a lot of people didn't, but I did. I liked Del Rio when he was a face. And then when they turned him heel back at Payback, he still had Ricardo, and this wasn't the Mexican aristocrat heel. This was an aggressive heel, and I kind of liked it. I just didn't like it as much as I liked him as a face. And then when Ricardo left, or when he turned on Ricardo, that was the end of Alberto Del Rio right there, character-wise. Secretively, Del Rio, when he was world champion last summer, he had a really good run with the belt, because every world title defense he had was a good to amazing match. The match Wayne defended against Ziggler at Money in the Bank was a great match. The match with Christian at SummerSlam was amazing. The match with RVD at Night of Champions was really good. His match against RVD at Battleground was really good, and his match against Cena at Hell in a Cell was really good. So, secretively, Del Rio did have a really good World Heavyweight title reign last summer, as far as match quality. There you go. But overall, with Del Rio leaving the company once his contract is up, he's made enough money, and he's pretty much done everything in WWE in just 4 years. Or 3.5, 4 years, he's done enough to take the money and run, basically. I mean, he's been WWE Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, Royal Rumble winner, Money in the Bank winner. He's done it all in a short amount of time, so I'd say for that short amount, I think he'll probably go to the Hall of Fame, because he accomplished all that in just 3.5, 4 years. That's impressive, but, you know, it is what it is. Now to my thoughts about Batista. Now, I made that video last week. The video I titled Wrestling is Supposed to Be Fun. I still stick by that. Wrestling is supposed to be fun. But I'm going to be straight up about Batista. Now, some people thought, like Boston Fan 79 was saying in that video in a comment, that I was being an apologist for the WWE. I'll be honest, when I made that video, I was only doing that because I was in a good mood, because a lot of good stuff was going on at the time. I didn't want to sound negative about everything, but I'm going to come out here and be straight up about Batista. I've always liked Batista, but him coming back winning the Royal Rumble was a stupid move on WWE's part. But I still stick by the story. I still stick by my story that the only logical way for Batista to win the Rumble was to face Brock Lesnar for the title at WrestleMania. But now, who knows if that's going to happen or not. Because of the whole Punk situation, things are starting to change. And everything like that. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm honest about this. Batista winning the Rumble is a pretty stupid move on WWE's part, because the Pittsburgh crowd booed the hell out of him, and you know what? That's the one part of that crowd in the Royal Rumble that I actually did like, when they booed Batista for winning the Rumble. But when they booed Rey Mysterio, that was kind of dumb, even though it wasn't Rey Mysterio's fault. We was all expecting Daniel Bryan, but I had a feeling he wasn't going to be in the Rumble, because if you've read the stuff, or if you heard the stories, Daniel Bryan was not planned to be in that match at all. No matter what would have happened, he wasn't going to be in the match. We should have known that, but people were like completely shocked, like, oh my god, Daniel Bryan wasn't in the Rumble. This show sucked. I'm going to stop watching WWE. And I know We Are Pro Wrestling did a rant about Rumble, which is a rarity for We Are Pro Wrestling. By the way, as always, check him out. Link is in the description. But I was shocked that he actually ranted about something like that. But even though he says, like, you can only give so many chances before it doesn't work, I'm still giving this a shot, because, and I'm going to get to more about Daniel Bryan later in the video, because I'm going to be talking about him as well. But yeah, in the Rumble, I do agree with a majority of the people on this YouTube wrestling community that him winning the Rumble was one of the dumbest moves for WWE. Even though I like Batista, I've always have, always will, but him winning the Rumble, he did not deserve it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Batista. Now I'm going to get to talking about Sting. Now, Sting is probably now officially finally gone from TNA. And it's being floated around everywhere that they're working out a Legends deal with Sting, to the point where the first thing he's going to do is take over as Raw GM, which is going to be interesting because I'd like to see Sting do something. If he can't wrestle, let him do something on screen. I think him being a Raw GM would be cool. There you go. But as far as like, if he'll wrestle, he's got to have at least one match. And that one match is with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. That match has to happen. If not WrestleMania 30, and if he's still in the company if Sting will be in the company, if he does sign and he's still with the company for Mania 31, then maybe Mania 31, but it should happen at Mania 30 because it's the 30th WrestleMania. So yeah, those are my thoughts about Sting possibly coming over to WWE in the future. Speaking of The Undertaker, I'm going to be talking about him now. As far as who do I think his opponent will be for WrestleMania 30. I know a lot of people want it to be Brock Lesnar, but I'm going to be flat out honest here. I don't want Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. That match should not happen only for one reason. Is that Brock Lesnar would cripple The Undertaker in the ring, because Taker's a little brittle. Brock, ever since he's came back to WWE, he's been very, very, very stiff. I think him coming in to have a match with a brittle Undertaker would be a bad move on WWE's part, because what if Undertaker gets severely hurt and he can't wrestle WrestleManias again? Even though this could be his last WrestleMania, if he wrestles once a year, then he could go another few WrestleManias. But if Brock Lesnar faces Undertaker, Undertaker's going to get crippled. I'm telling this right now. I know a lot of people out there want this match to happen, but this match should have happened for WrestleMania 8 or something like that. I don't know. I can't really remember the specific time whenever Undertaker Brock Lesnar had that little conversation at UFC. I think it was in 2010. 2009, 2010, something like that. I can't really remember. But it was the night Brock lost the UFC heavyweight title to Cain Velasquez. So, whatever WrestleMania was happening at that time would have been the best choice. Maybe 27, even though that probably should have been Undertaker Sting right there. But I don't know. As far as who do I want Undertaker to face at WrestleMania, I've said before, I'll say it again. He should face John Cena, because John Cena's the last person left on the roster to face Undertaker at WrestleMania who is a legitimate threat to the streak. And if that match did happen, that match has to go last. Doesn't matter about world titles or nothing like that. If Undertaker's last match would be against John Cena, that match has to be the main event. Because once that match happens, nothing else would matter. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So if Sting does come to WWE, then Undertaker should obviously face Sting. So, yeah, there you go. Now I'm going to get to talking about Daniel Bryan. Now, with Daniel Bryan, I'm a big Daniel Bryan fan. I've always been a big Daniel Bryan fan ever since he came into WWE. Now, I've said before, I didn't know anything about Daniel Bryan's indie days until he did come to WWE, and then I started looking up his history, and I looked at his resume of being in Ring of Honor and PWG and all these other promotions. I'm like, wow, this guy is a hell of a wrestler as far as where he goes to and what he's done and the matches he's had. I thought, this guy could have a good future in WWE. It started out not necessarily that way. Of course, he got fired for choking out Justin Roberts, when really I think that was WWE just saying to Bryan, well, we'll let you finish up those indie dates you have, and then we'll bring you back for SummerSlam. That's what I think happened with that. And, of course, he did return at SummerSlam and was the MVP of that main event 7-on-7 elimination tag. Then he wins the U.S. title, which was really cool. Wins Money in the Bank, which was shocking. And wins the world title and had a really good run with it until losing the 18 seconds to Sheamus at WrestleMania 28. But then he's been a great tag champion with Kane when they were part of Team Hell No, one of the funniest teams of all time. Don't care what anybody says, whether they thought it was good, it was bad, I don't give a fuck. Team Hell No was a freaking hilarious team, and a great team, too. And it's been because of the start of the whole Yes thing, and then especially with Team Hell No, it's evolved Daniel Bryan into being a better superstar. We all knew he had the in-ring ability status of a WWE superstar pretty much in the bag, but it was character and charisma that he needed to work on. Mic skills, too. Ever since the whole yes, yes, yes stuff started, no, 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 and then Team Hell No, then that's where Daniel Bryan really, really started to get a rocket as far as crowd reactions, getting the rocket shoved so far up. Then Team Hell No splits up. Bryan is a face, goes by himself, goes back to the yes chant, and he's the most popular superstar WWE's had in well over 10 years. And it's not, and for message to WWE, push Daniel Bryan more, damn it. Give him the belt, because people chanting yes, it's no longer just an internet thing. It's everybody's thing. I mean, hell, freaking Michigan State Spartans basketball team, the fans were, and the team were going, yes, yes, yes. It's not just an internet thing anymore, WWE. It's everybody's thing. Internet fans, casual fans, old and young fans, fans getting back in the wrestling, fans getting in the wrestling. That's everybody's thing. It's no longer just the internet's thing. It's everybody's thing. WWE needs to listen to the fans more. I mean, yeah. But as far as Daniel Bryan goes, it's looking that he might be facing Triple H now at WrestleMania, because if the whole Punk quitting the company is legit, that was originally going to be Punk Triple H, but now that that might not happen, it's probably going to be Daniel Bryan Triple H. And I'm personally kind of happy that's going to happen at WrestleMania, because that match has been long overdue ever since this whole storyline started. We've been waiting for that moment to see, oh, when is Daniel Bryan Triple H going to go one-on-one? This should be awesome. I think it's going to happen at WrestleMania, and if Bryan wins, he'll get a title shot at Extreme Rules and win the title at Extreme Rules in Seattle. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, he should win it at WrestleMania, not Extreme Rules. But, I mean, think about it. Extreme Rules is going to be in Seattle, Daniel Bryan's home state. If he couldn't be in the world title match at WrestleMania, winning the belt in his home state, near his hometown, is the next best thing for him. So there you go. Plus, he'll have a few matches with Batista. He'll have some matches with, maybe he'll have a match with Brock Lesnar. I'm interested in seeing that match. That would be pretty good. But as far as Daniel Bryan goes, still, people, you gotta give this more time, people. He's gonna... Daniel Bryan's not going to end his career without having a legit run with the WWE title. There's just no way. He's gonna get his due. Yeah, people just need to calm down. So there you go. That's my thoughts on Daniel Bryan. Now I want to talk about WrestleMania 30. The rumored matches that are planned as of this moment are Batista, Randy Orton for the title. I'll be honest, I mean, the match should be good, maybe, but I don't know. It's like, Orton and Batista, they've had only like 2, 3, 4 matches one-on-one against each other in WWE history, if I'm not mistaken. So they haven't wrestled all that much against each other in one-on-one competition. So I guess seeing it this time for the title to be at WrestleMania, it would be a step up. But a lot of fans are not going to care because it's Orton and Batista. I mean, I'm not on that edge of the fence. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't care if the match happens or not. As long as the match is good, I'm fine with it. That's all I could say about that. Then there's the rumored match, and it's possibly going to be a locked match now. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. That should be really good because it's about time the Wyatt family did something with John Cena, because they pretty much had interaction with almost everyone in WWE, but they have not gotten to John Cena until Royal Rumble. So this is going to be intriguing for me personally because I'm a big Cena fan and I'm also a big Wyatt family fan. To see Bray Wyatt and Cena go one-on-one at WrestleMania would be interesting because, like I said, it's about time Cena would be involved with the Wyatts. And then other matches, as far as who would Brock actually, I'm going to stop with the WrestleMania 30 conversation real quick. Or actually, I'll keep going, then I'll get to the final discussion. But Undertaker Sting has to happen. And there you go. Triple H, Daniel Bryan's looking to happen, which I don't have a problem with it at all. I think it's awesome that that match would happen because, like I said, it's been a little bit overdue for these two to have a one-on-one match, really ever since the storyline between these two started back in SummerSlam. So, yeah. But, yeah, there you go. Now the final thing I want to talk about, or actually not the final thing, I got a couple more left, but Brock Lesnar. As far as who he would face at WrestleMania, that's pretty much up in the air at this point. We don't really know for sure, because he's supposed to have a title shot, but now that's not looking to happen, it seems, at least on screen. But I don't know. It's up in the air with what Brock Lesnar, who he's going to face at WrestleMania. But there's been rumors going around that Dana White said that he is... It's only a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but there was a rumor out there that Dana White, the president of, or the owner or president of UFC, I don't know, they all seem the same. But the head honcho of UFC, Dana White, said that he'd be willing to let Brock Lesnar work at UFC and WWE at the same time, which, if that would happen, that would be interesting, because background story about seeing Brock Lesnar in UFC for me personally. Me and my brother Mayhem were both MMA fans, although not as much anymore, because MMA, in my opinion at least, has not been that great in a long time because a lot of the top fighters are gone. I don't know much about all these newer guys coming in. I just don't know about them. And a lot of my favorites are retired or done, like Chuck Liddell, Forrest Griffin, Randy Couture, all them greats. But with me and my brother, as far as Brock Lesnar in the UFC, we have a group of friends who are MMA fans, and they hated Brock Lesnar when he came to UFC. They're like, oh, he's just a WWE wrestler. He can't do anything. And we're like, he has an amateur wrestling background. The dude is fucking tough as shit. He is a badass motherfucker. Put him in an octagon, he'll kick your ass, and what do you know? He does. Wins the world title from Randy Couture. Pounds Frank Mir within an inch of his life. I mean, yeah. So I think if he worked UFC and WWE at the same time, that would be pretty cool. But then again, we don't know. And my phone's ringing, and I need to go get that. There we go. Sorry about that, but anyways, it's up in the air with what Brock Lesnar's gonna do for WrestleMania, and if the rumors are true of him possibly working WWE and UFC, I'm all for it, but if it's not true, oh well. And now the final thing I want to talk about is NXT. Now, I didn't review last week's episode of NXT because I never got around to reviewing it. So I did watch, but I skipped the review because I didn't have the time for it. So, yeah. But I will be back for tonight's episode. That's going to be on Hulu tonight. I'll be back for that episode. And there you go. So anyways, that pretty much does it for this video as far as my thoughts about WWE right now, my discussion about WWE. And I feel like I'm going to sneeze. That's one of the first times I've sneezed on camera. But, and then the final thing I want to plug is there's only 5 days left, 4 or 5 days left of voting for the WWE 2K14's WrestleMania 30 Moment Challenge or contest, and I, among over hundreds of thousands of people, maybe even 1 million possibly, I made the top 10 finalist list, and I am in the top 10, and I'm actually leading the votes right now. But to help it out even more, there will be a link in the description box for you to check out. Click on the 5th picture you see on the page. For your phone, it's the 5th picture you see scrolling. For the computer, it's the fifth picture on the top row. It's a picture of Randy Orton giving Daniel Bryan an RKO off a ladder through 4 tables. Vote for that picture, and if I win this contest, I get to go to WrestleMania 30, which will be amazing. One of a few things I wanted to cross off my bucket list was to go to WrestleMania, and if I win this contest, that dream is going to come true. So I would really appreciate it if you guys would vote. Remember, link is in the description. Vote for the 5th picture you see of Randy Orton giving Bryan an RKO off a ladder through 4 tables. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.